Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to day 199 of Quran in a Year Plus, where we learn to look at the world and live life according to the lens of the Quran. Today we're going to be looking at verses 35 to 49 of Surah Al-Kahf. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ودخل جنته وهو ظالم لنفسه قال ما أظن أن تبيد هذه أبدا. The disbeliever entered his garden with his believing companion, showing it off to him while he was wronging himself through disbelief and arrogance. He said, I do not think this garden will ever perish, because of all the means I've put in place to preserve it. وما أظن الساعة قائمة ولئن رددت إلى ربي لأجدن خيرا منها منقلبا. And I do not think the hour will ever come. Life will just continue. And even if it does come, and I am brought back to my Lord, I will surely find something better than this garden awaiting me there. My wealth here is proof that I will have even more there. قال له صاحبه وهو يحاوره أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم سواك رجلا. His believing companion said to him, responding to his words, Do you disbelieve in the one who created your father Adam from dust, then created you from a drop of fluid, then shaped you into a complete human being, proportioned and perfected? The one who did all of that is fully able to resurrect you. لكن هو الله ربي ولا أشرك بربي أحدا. But as for me, I do not say what you say. Rather, I say, He is Allah, my Lord, the one who has bestowed His blessings upon us, and I do not associate anyone with Him in worship. ولولا إذ دخلت جنتك قلت ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله إن ترني أنا أقل منك مالا وولدا. Why, when you entered your garden, did you not say, MashAllah, la quwwata illa billah? This is what Allah has willed. There is no power except through Allah. Even if you see me as less wealthy than you and having fewer children. فعسى ربي أن يؤتيني خيرا من جنتك ويرسل عليها حسبانا من السماء فتصبح صعيدا زلقا. I expect that my Lord may give me something better than your garden, and may send upon your garden a punishment from the sky, leaving it barren, a smooth, slippery ground where nothing grows, and feet cannot find firm footing. أو يصبح ماؤها غورا فلن تستطيع له طلبا. Or its water may sink deep into the earth, so you would never be able to reach it by any means. And once its water disappears, the garden cannot survive. وأحيط بثمره فأصبح يقلب كفيه على ما أنفق فيها وهي خاوية على عروشها ويقول يا ليتني لم أشرك بربي أحدا. And what the believer expected came to pass. The fruits of the disbeliever's garden were completely destroyed. He began turning his hands over in regret, overwhelmed with grief over what he had spent cultivating and maintaining it. As the garden had fallen over the supports on which the grapevines were spread out, he said, I wish I had believed in my Lord alone, and I had not associated anyone with him in worship. ولم تكن له فئة ينصرونه من دون الله وما كان منتصرا. He had no group to support or defend him against what had befallen him, despite once taking pride in his people, nor was he able to protect himself from Allah's punishment. هنالك الولاية لله الحق هو خير ثوابا وخير عقوبا. In that moment, all support and authority belong to Allah alone. He is best in reward for His believing servants, multiplying it for them, and best in outcome. واضرب لهم مثل الحياة الدنيا كماء أنزلناه من السماء فاختلط به نبات الأرض فأصبح حشيما تذروه الرياح وكان الله على كل شيء مقتدرا. And present to them, O Messenger, a parable of the worldly life. It is like rain we send down from the sky, and the vegetation of the earth flourishes because of it and reaches its peak. Then it becomes dry, broken fragments, scattered by the winds, and the earth returns to how it was before. And Allah is over all things perfectly capable. Nothing is beyond Him. He gives life to what He wills and causes to perish what He wills. المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا. Wealth and children are part of the adornment of this worldly life, but wealth brings no benefit in the hereafter unless it is spent in ways that please Allah. Righteous deeds and words that are pleasing to Allah are far better in reward than all worldly adornment, and they are the best hope a person can hold on to, because the beauty of this world fades, while the reward of what pleases Allah remains. وَيَوْمَ نُسَيِّرُ الْجِبَالَ وَتَرَى الْأَرْضَ بَارِزَةً وَحَشَرْنَاهُمْ فَلَمْ نُغَادِرْ مِنْهُمْ أَحَدًا. And remember the day when we will remove the mountains from their places, and you will see the earth fully exposed, laid bare, with no mountains, trees, or structures upon it, and we will gather all creation, leaving none of them behind. وَعُرِضُوا عَلَى رَبِّكَ صَفًّا لَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَا كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ بل زعمتم أن لن نجعل لكم موعدا. They will be presented before your Lord in rows to be judged, and it will be said to them, You have come to us just as we created you the first time, alone, barefoot, naked, and uncircumcised. Yet you claim that you would never be resurrected and that we would not appoint a time and place to hold you accountable for your deeds. ووضع الكتاب فترى المجرمين مشفقين مما فيه ويقولون يا ويلتنا ما لهذا الكتاب لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها ووجدوا ما عملوا حاضرا ولا يظلم ربك أحدا. And the record of deeds will be set forth. Some will receive their book in their right hand, and others in their left. And you will see the disbelievers fearful of what is in it. Because they know what they have sent ahead of disbelief and sins, they will say, Woe to us! What is this book? It does not leave out anything small or great except that it has recorded and counted it. They will find everything they did in this worldly life written before them, and your Lord does not wrong anyone. He does not punish anyone without sin, nor does He reduce the reward of those who obey Him. As we reflect over today's verses, this man had everything: wealth, security, status, and in a moment he lost all of it. Allah says, he entered his garden while he was wronging himself. He said, I do not think this will ever perish. Ibn Juzay mentions, this wrongdoing was either through his disbelief or through how he treated his companion, since it involved pride, arrogance, and belittling his brother. And his companion told him, "Why did you not, when you entered your garden, say, 'This is what Allah has willed. There is no power except through Allah. MashAllah, la quwwata illa billah.'" The scholars they mention, this indicates the recommendation of saying this remembrance when seeing something that amazes a person, so that they entrust the matter to Allah, not to their own ability or strength. Therefore, it is appropriate for someone who enters their garden, home, or sees in their wealth or family something that pleases them, to hasten to say this phrase. If they do so, they will not see harm in it. Some of the early scholars said, whoever is amazed by something in his condition, wealth, or children should say, MashAllah, la quwwata illa billah. When we see something that we love, something we achieved, something we're proud of, we say, MashAllah, la quwwata illa billah. What Allah willed, there is no power except by Allah. Ibn Hubayra said, I reflected upon the statement of Allah, la quwwata illa billah, and I found that it carries three meanings. The one who says it frees himself from his own power and ability and submits the matter to its true owner. He recognizes that creation has no power except through Allah, so he does not fear them since their strength exists only by Allah. This leads to fearing Allah alone. And it is a refutation of the philosophers and naturalists who claim that things possess power inherently. This statement clarifies that no one has power except through Allah. And it comes in Bukhari and Muslim that the Prophet ﷺ said, O Abdullah ibn Qais, shall I not teach you a word that is from the treasures of paradise? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no power and no might except through Allah. And this is something we should say all the time, seeking Allah's help, understanding that I have no ability except with the help and assistance of Allah. And Allah tells us the outcome of the disbeliever who was arrogant. His fruits were completely destroyed, and he began turning his hands over in regret for what he had spent on it, while it had collapsed upon its supports. Ibn Ashur mentions, this punishment did not come merely because of disbelief, since Allah allows many disbelievers to enjoy life for a long time and gradually leads them on. Rather, this punishment came as a consequence of his transgression, using his wealth as a means to look down upon the poor believer. And Allah gives us a powerful image to reshape how we see the world. He says, and present to them the example of the worldly life. It is like rain we send down from the sky, and the vegetation of the earth grows and flourishes because of it. Then it becomes dry, broken pieces scattered by the winds. This is the full cycle of the dunya in one scene. It begins attractive, it grows and reaches its peak, then it declines, then it disappears completely. Imam al-Qurtubi mentions, the scholars said, Allah likened the worldly life to water because water does not remain in one state. And likewise this world. Water does not last, it passes away just as the world fades. No one enters water without becoming wet, and likewise no one enters the world without being affected by its trials. And just as a moderate amount of water is beneficial and brings growth, while excess becomes harmful and destructive, the same applies to the world. What suffices benefits and excess harms. And Allah says, wealth and children are the adornment of the worldly life, but the lasting righteous deeds are better with your Lord in reward and better in hope. Shaykh Shanqiti says, the intent of this noble verse is to alert people to righteous deeds so that they are not distracted by the adornment of this world, wealth and children, from what benefits them in the hereafter, which is the lasting righteous deeds. And Allah says, Al-Baqiyatu Salihat. The lasting righteous deeds are better with your Lord in reward and better in what one can hope for. Shaykh Sa'di says, what remains for a person benefits them and brings them joy are the lasting righteous deeds. This includes all acts of obedience, both obligatory and recommended, from the rights of Allah and the rights of His servants, such as prayer, zakah, charity, hajj, umrah, glorifying Allah, praising Him, declaring His oneness, magnifying Him, Reciting the Quran, seeking beneficial knowledge, enjoining good, forbidding evil, maintaining family ties, honoring parents, fulfilling the rights of spouses, those under one's care, even animals, and all forms of goodness toward creation. This teaches us that this world is temporary, like water, useful in the right amount, destructive in excess, and impossible to hold onto. So the real question is not how much do I have, but what am I building that will still exist when all of this is gone? Because one day we are going to stand before Allah. Allah, He says, you have come to us just as we created you the first time. Shaykh Sa'di says, meaning with no wealth, no family, and no tribe. They come with nothing except the deeds they performed and what they earned of good and evil. And then the record is placed. They will say, woe to us. What is this record that leaves nothing small or great except that it has counted it? And they will find everything they did present before them, and your Lord does not wrong anyone. Qatada said, the people complain about the counting, but no one complain about being wronged. So beware of the small sins, for they gather upon a person until they destroy him. So before that day comes, we need to take ourselves into account, muhasaba, so that we prepare for that day, so that we are forgiven and given our book of deeds in our right hands. So as we walk away from today's episode, let's put this dua into practice. The next time that I see something that I accomplished, that I like, that I love, that I have in my life, let me say, MashAllah, la quwwata illa billah. This is what Allah willed. There is no power except through Him. May Allah the Almighty strengthen our faith. Make us amongst those individuals who put knowledge into practice. May He make us amongst those who are taking into an easy account. I'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.